Hi, welcome to Lesson 25, Session 4. Today is our refine session. As I always say, today is when we take everything that we've learned about converting measurement units and we put it into a nice, neat little package and we show everything we've learned. And so we're going to be working in our Ready Classroom Math Workbook on pages 525 through 528. So go ahead and turn to page 525 now. As a reminder, today is the day that I just walk you through each of the problems. I don't tell you how to do them, but I walk you through and I might give you a few tips or tricks as we go. So first of all, on page 525, we're going to go ahead and look at question number 1. And it says this: Jillian makes 10.5 gallons of lemonade to sell in 1-quart bottles. How many quarts of lemonade can she make? Now remember, we're talking about lemonade in this problem, and we want to know how many quarts of lemonade can Jillian make? The important information in this problem is that we know that she has 10.5 gallons and she makes them into 1-quart bottles. So really what we need to figure out is how many quarts are there in 10.5 gallons. And then that's going to tell us how many quarts of lemonade she can make. So find out how many quarts are there in 10.5 gallons. Let's go ahead and go to the next page. Number 2, how many kilograms or kilograms are equivalent to 450 grams? Show your work. So we know that 1 kilogram is equal to 1,000 grams. So if we want to know how many kilograms are equivalent to 450 grams, we need to go ahead and do some converting. We know we want to turn it into kilograms, and we know that we have 450 grams. So if we're going from a smaller unit to a larger unit, what operation do we use? Again, when we convert from a smaller unit, because grams are smaller than a kilogram, when we go from a smaller unit to a larger unit, what operation do we use? That's right. We're going to divide. We are going to divide 450 grams by the number of grams in 1 kilogram to find out how many kilograms we have. Number 3. How many millimeters are in 180 meters? And to remind you, 1 meter is equal to 1,000 millimeters. So if we're trying to convert, I'll do it in a different color. That green was a little hard to see. If we're trying to convert from 180 meters to millimeters, what is larger, a meter or a millimeter? That's right, a meter is larger. So what operation do we use when we go from a larger unit to a smaller unit? That's right, we multiply. So then we're going to go ahead and multiply 180 meters by the number of meters there, or the number of millimeters there are in 1 meter to get our final product. Now Emily chose A as the correct answer. How did she get that answer? If Emily's correct, just show your work. If Emily's not correct, tell me what you think she did wrong. Number 4. On number 4, it says this: a mining company digs 75 kilograms of silver. They plan to use 1 gram of silver in each special coin they make. How many grams are equivalent to 75 kilograms? So we're going to go ahead. We're talking about silver. And what we're trying to find out is how many grams are equivalent to 75 kilograms. We know that we have 75 kilograms and we want to turn it into grams. So we're going from a kilogram to a gram. So we're going from a larger unit to a smaller unit. So when we go from a larger unit of a kilogram to a gram, what operation do we use? By this point, you should know, so I'm not going to tell you the operation. But remember, you're going from a larger unit to a smaller unit. All right, for number 5, and don't worry about this, you can just write your answer in the blank. For number 5, 5 measurements are shown below. Write one of the measurements on each of the lines to create 2 true equations. So you want to use 300 millimeters, 30 meters, 3,000 meters, 3 kilometers, or 3,000 centimeters. And so you're going to figure out, okay, if I want to convert from meters to centimeters, if I have 30 meters, if I multiply 30 meters times 100 centimeters, does that equal one of the answers here? You're going to do that 2 times. So you're going to use each of these statements, you're going to use each of them only 1 time. So there's 2 different, well, there's more than 2, but there's 2 that you could do that you're saying how many of one unit is equal to how many of another unit. Number 6 is going to take a little bit of legwork, but I know you can do it. It says this: complete each conversion below. Show your work. So they want you to add 3 feet and 7 inches. So what you'll need to do is you're going to need, and you want your answer to be in inches. So you're going to first convert your feet into inches. We start with our 3 feet, and then we're going to multiply our 3 feet by 12 inches because there are 12 inches in 1 foot, and that equals 36 inches. Then to that, you're going to add the 7 inches that we already have to get a total of 43 inches. And then you're going to write 43 on the line. For part B, you're going to take 2 gallons and subtract 5 quarts and then give the answer in quarts. So you need to convert 2 gallons into into quarts and then subtract 5 from it to get your answer. Here, you need to convert your 5 pounds into ounces and then subtract. Here, you need to convert your centimeters. Oh, we're not converting centimeters, my bad. We're going to convert these 4 meters into centimeters and then add 60 to it to get our final amount of centimeters. And then this one's tricky. They're both in meters. So we're going to add all of our meters together and then convert our meters into kilometers. Make sure you pay attention that you see that this is kilometers. You really want to look at each of these units that you're converting to. And then finally, 1 liter minus 150 milliliters, and you're changing it to milliliters. So convert this 1 liter into milliliters first, and then subtract 150. So you're going to have to do some conversions, but and then add or subtract the difference to get your answer. Go ahead and go to number 7. Number 7 says, how many yards are equivalent to 1,000 feet? So remember that 1 yard is equal to 3 feet. So if I were you, remember you're converting from feet to yards. So what operation are you going to use to convert from feet to yards? Which is the larger unit? We're looking at just the word, just the unit, feet or yards. It looks to me like you're converting from a smaller unit to a larger unit. What operation will you use to do that? Number 8 says this: write each measurement below in the table under an equivalent measure, if possible. Some of the measurements may not have an equivalent measure. So a half of a quart, is that equal to a gallon, a quart, or a pint? So, for example, you're going to look at your math reference sheet, and you're looking for a quart. Now, 1 quart is equal to 2 pints. So what would a half of a quart be equal to? That's right, a half of a quart would be equal to 1 pint. Is that one of our choices? Yes, it is. So then you're going to cross out a half of a quart and write a half of a quart underneath 1 pint. You're going to go for each of these other measurements and decide if any of them equal any of the choices. And it's possible that you may have more than one written in each of these categories. And I will tell you that one of these will not work. One of these is not an equivalent to any of these units of measure. And finally, for number 9, Raphael uses a ruler to measure his deck. It measures 85 centimeters wide. If he measures the deck width of his desk, his desk, not deck. Raphael uses a ruler to measure his desk. It is 85 centimeters wide. If he measures the width of his desk in meters, will the number of meters be less than or greater than 85? What will the measure in meters be? So you're going to need to find out using your cheat sheet. You need to look at your cheat sheet and decide which is how many meters are, or how many centimeters are in a meter. Then you're going to decide which, it's asking you again, if he measures the width of the desk in meters, will the number of meters be less than or greater than 85? So you're going to tell me if they will be less than or greater than, and then actually solve the problem. And that is the end of this session. Please make sure if you have any questions, you email your teacher. Otherwise, I'll see you next time.